Hi, everybody. Welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Man, Red Wings home to all the biggest NHL news and maybe more to come. You got to think.
Busy news day. Yeah.
More. More is a coming. We got to hit the comments because everybody was here early. Chewy thrown in there. This should be a good one. Murdoch, dang. Hronek dealt. Larkin re-signed. I like Blake. Hurry up already. I want to vent.
Oh, there's more?
Blake,
I thought it was just Alexandre Doucette. Hot shot
Blake,
at the JHML or something. They don't even use goaltenders down there. Hi-yo.
Blake asking for a 4-hour stream tonight. Performance art. We need to retool the rebuild because I think we're behind schedule at this point. We're a week removed from being in a playoff race. Performance art. Hold up. Hold up. No, you go ahead, Mike. I was telling performance art.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were on a gravy train with biscuit wheels, and now all of a sudden it's derailed and nobody's getting any breakfast. This is not looking good.
Oh, my God.
A lot of people coming in hot. I know you pulled up Murdoch, but I wanted the Blake one. Hurry up already. I need to vent. He's coming in hot.
Murdoch coming in. Second game against Ottawa was embarrassing. Not only did we not respond to, I almost said Kachuk. Kachuk chirping the bench. We allowed him literally to flex in front of us. Someone needed to run him. I mean, we got a Larkin run. It was called for a late hit.
Clip. Yeah, look up Larkin on Kachuk. That was amazing.
Yeah, Max Boltman actually had a take on this. Because he actually said this, if you watch the whole replay, this was just Larkin finishing a check, and it was poor. Like, it was a poor decision on his part, which, by the way, this is pretty cool. Our tweet for this, like, I'm about to pull up. This is me just happy right now. Has 192,000 views. It's quite a bit for Red Wings Rant. I'm pretty happy right now. That kind of just made my day. I got in trouble with my boss literally right before we started recording, and that was not fun. But here's our boy Larkin.
That was a video of your boss knocking down your fun. Boom! Look at that. Not having a good time.
Oh man, it was the worst timing to get a message from my boss, and I was just like, I'm gonna go talk hockey for a little bit.
Wow.
But yeah, this was fun for me. A lot of these replies came from a certain audience, which man, if we're going to, and this will come with an asterisk, but based on what everybody was saying yesterday, if this is going to turn into a rivalry with Ottawa, I am not looking forward to it, because man, oh man, are Ottawa fans just the busiest little bitches on planet Earth. Jesus. I'm one to have fun with their replies, but it just never stopped, and I was like, man, I love responding to this stuff like once or twice, but when your tweet gets 200,000 views, you've got to respond a lot. So there's a lot of responses last. It just was exhausting.
You upset an entire province, Matt. It's not looking good over here.
So yeah, I mean, for a lot of you that chirp a lot on Twitter, I don't do a lot of chirping. That was the tiniest bit. I just said Larkin lays out that hideous troll, and they just did not like it. And I don't know, that might be why I don't chirp a lot on Twitter, because it's exhausting to have to tell them over and over the same joke. And yeah.
Well, I mean, we got to get into it here. Because I know we gotta kind of figure out a way to organize this show, because we were talking playoffs not that long ago. We could take screenshots of the standings, and the Red Wings are number 8, and now it kind of feels like those Ottawa losses back to back against the team we're competing for the pretty much exact same seed gave us a bare butt spanking. But there's so much movement on this team, man.
A lot of money around. To that. All right, because what I wanted to do, I actually liked what you did there, because we never do this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to play some background music, and I just kind of wanted to like go through, like, just kind of recap, right, and kind of go through the high hits. But now I can't find my little calendar. There it is. Okay, tell me if this is too loud. Some dance pop. Is that? There's no music. Oh, there it goes. All right. So we go through what? Beating Edmonton 5-2. We beat Calgary 2-1. This is back February 7th and 9th. The 11th. We beat Vancouver 5-2, 6-1.
It's very distracting.
6-1 win over Vancouver, 5-4 win over Edmonton, 5-2 win over Calgary, lose to Seattle, 4-2. Right now we're down, but then we come back, beat Washington, beat the Rangers. We're flying high, Mike. This was a week ago. We were between wins against Washington and New York, and then the 25th, Vasilevskiy goalies us, as I was told. I was actually I was having a date night, so I kept up with the first two periods on my phone, and then made it home for the third period and watched a very sloppy Red Wings third period because Jared came at me to kind of give me like what had happened. Like, he responded, he was like, look, these guys peppered Vasilevskiy with everything they had. And what I saw, and this is kind of what Jared's point was, what I saw was a team that was hesitating. It's just like the third period was just like David Perron gets the puck right on front of Vasilevskiy and he doesn't even shoot it. Right? So I was just like, all right, this is ugly. I can't stand this third period. So like, we had so many open shots and we weren't taking it. Jared goes, it's just what's going to happen. Human nature. You've been frustrated for two periods. Absolutely shellac in Tampa Bay. Next point, Mike, we'll get into this. Was there a moral victory there? Well, Mike, 6-2 loss, 6-1 loss to Ottawa back-to-back. Pretty much, I mean, you could call it losing 12-3 in back-to-back games that we could have labeled the two most important Red Wings games we've watched in the last few years, where you win those two games, got a wild card spot right now. That's what we're celebrating. And instead, we have a much different episode.
Yeah, let's talk narrative with that, right? Because, like, Tampa Bay, what are you going to do against Vasilevskiy, one of the greatest goaltenders of all time? So I think what we wanted to see was a little bit of a response against a team that I would feel is a peer of ours in Ottawa, standings-wise, skills-wise, where they're at in their rebuild-wise. And it felt like this was going to be a pretty accurate measuring stick. And we had, two opportunities to try and figure that out. And the first game, we absolutely got just physically manhandled, obliterated. And so you kind of felt like, well, we're on the road. We'll get them in the next game. And almost an identical
result,
outcome. Yeah. Score-wise, we did open up with the lead. There was a fight. Larkin with the murder check. But yeah, it was pretty disappointing, pretty crushing. And based on the moves that we've seen here in the 24 hours, it definitely it feels like there's some sort of reaction to what just transpired over those three games.
Jared putting out there, Ras taking a puck to the knee, killed the team. Rasmus, that's a whole nother conversation. We'll if we have time, we'll get into that. But it is kind of just a funny point. Rasmussen goes down, and this team just cannot. There's no chemistry, top to bottom, just completely implodes.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was such a focal cog for the success of the Red Wings.
At $1.45 million, I think, off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, this was to me. I made the argument: there's no moral victories in a playoff race, and that was that 3-0 loss. I did want to amend that comment and say there's very little to gain from a moral victory in a playoff race, because you could have the moral victory, but it's just, like, the moral victory exists, right? There's just nothing to gain from it, because then you lose that game, you lose two more, and now we have what happened today, which we could start with the fun news first, but arguably, right, the end of the playoff race.
I mean,
Not
mathematically,
not technically.
there's a lot of time and a lot of games left, but it just feels like you know, you kind of want to seize this opportunity. And I know that there was talk, you know, from the Red Wings locker room. I think it was that streak of games they had, um, you know, road games, and they knew it was kind of a little bit of a challenge here coming out of the break. They wanted to try and go 9-3 in that stretch, and a few of those losses are going to make that impossible. But you know, if they can try to salvage things tomorrow night, maybe not quite where they wanted to be, but you know, closer. And it's not completely out of the realm of mathematical possibility for them to be in the playoffs. But boy, did they make their lives a lot more difficult with what transpired.
Yeah, Murdoch thrown out there. Weird how briefly getting a playoff spot ended up breaking the team's confidence. Fethtar, hi guys, been a while. Just here to listen. What's up, Fethtar? It has been a while. We missed you, buddy.
It's weird with Murdoch's comment because it didn't seem like necessarily so much about the Red Wings. It seemed like a very talented Ottawa team. They
No,
looked gigantic. They
let's
looked
let's
powerful.
pull
They looked
back on the
fast.
very. I'd pull back on the very talented.
They looked awesome. It looked like there was an odd man break every other shift. It we got bullied.
I so my argument, and this is the conversation I would want to bring up, and I think this is more to Murdoch's point, is you presented to the Red Wings, you know, again, they came out to play against Tampa Bay, but you presented arguably, you know, based on the standings, two winnable games against the Ottawa Senators, two games that the playoff team wins, right, against the Ottawa Senators. And you know, this comes into like this rivalry conversation too, because a lot of people were quick to jump on that. Some of our rival podcasts, some of our favorite faces of the Detroit Red Wings. You know, and this will be tied to the narrative that gets built into a rivalry. Two teams hate each other. Two teams come out to play. If you want to tie this into the playoff narrative, Ottawa knew they had to win these two games or their season was done. And Ottawa, of course, has gone out of their way today and picked up Chikrin. So I don't know if they jumped the gun there, but they have a ton of space. They can keep Chikrin. It's totally fine there. I think that's an okay move for the Senators. Maybe the timing doesn't quite line up, but anyway, they won those two games. Now they make a play on Chikrin, like they're ready to go. And the Red Wings right now, they were presented those same two games, and they didn't just lose close. We didn't have to play the game where it's like, we just didn't have the will to win it. And we're watching a game where it's like a bouncing puck and you're just like, you know, if only the puck had bounced our way. Like playing one of those games. No, we just got destroyed. The refs certainly helped. We can't forget that. That first game was insane. The second game, starting with that penalty shot, human reaction would have been totally normal to be like, oh, it's this shit again. After Stützle gets the penalty shot. So like there's a lot of other narratives mixed into this, but the rivalry narrative and rivalries in itself, they're not
no,
built
you
off of
can't do
like
a regular
stats.
season. There's no regular season rivalry. No, you got to do
Right.
something in the playoffs.
They're not, well, I mean, maybe the Avalanche rivalry started in the regular. Anyway,
But it didn't have any meaning
it's
until they were playing each other in the playoffs, man. That's silliness.
but Michigan and Ohio State pretty much regular season. It's possible.
But they treat it like, you know, a playoff game. It's always the last game of the year. It's never like week 3. It's treated, you know, as a prelude to the Big Ten.
Well, I'll say this. The thing for me that's for sure in a rivalry is there's some narrative tied to it, like from the outside. And so what I was going to say was there's no like stats tied to it. Stats come later. Like the narrative with Michigan and Ohio State obviously starts with the location of the two schools, I think. And if you want to get into the conference, that's another thing. Red Wings and Senators, it seemed like this could be a rivalry of the future because we're both building at the same pace. We're both kind of going along at the same pace. And really, like what I saw these last two games was not a team from our perspective that thought this was a rivalry. So that's kind of where I'm going from this is you kind of wake up for a rivalry, not get your ass handed to you for two straight games. But that also comes with the narrative of there was a playoff race. There were a couple of wins to be had. At least grab one of two. Like, I totally would have been fine if, like, one of two. You're in Ottawa. Ottawa's really excited. They're pumped. Like, if that first game was a blowout, I kind of was like, just like you said earlier, like, I believe Lalone, where he said, we'll be better tomorrow. Confidently. He ended, his night. Like, we'll be better tomorrow. Walks off. It's like, yeah, what a badass. No, you're maybe worse the next night. So I think that's where, besides, a couple of nice signings that kind of made us happy, that's where the big move that we're going to talk about happened. But do we want to get the nice stuff? You want to get the nice one out of the way?
I mean, yeah, let's start with the easiest one. I think this is a no-brainer for the Red Wings to keep this guy. We've been talking about it for since it was ever an issue, and they were like, "Oh, is it going to drag into the summer?" And my thing was, I thought he was asking for 10, and that's why they were punting. And I didn't think he would cave at under 9. This is a gargantuan, Herculean win for the Red Wings cap sheet. I don't know if I don't know if maybe Larkin's agent doesn't have access to Jay Fresh. I don't know what happened here. I would have tried to push that number a little higher, but we did almost get a total contract value of $69.69 million, which would have been another incredible number here. But yeah, you got a couple of stats here for Larks.
Well, yeah, I brought up the Dom player cards, which are pretty nice because they mix in a market value. So we were kind of looking at this like a week ago, and we were like, see, when we told all of you that he was worth 9 million, this is what we meant. And it's not just like this guy scores this many points and this amount of points, blah, blah, blah. What mixes in is the Matt Barzal contract, and the Bo Horvat contract. All that new stuff gets mixed in here. So Dylan Larkin's market value would go up. I honestly, we've been saying since the beginning of the year, we got all the way up to 10 at one point. I settled in. I was like, anything at 9.5 or less is a win for us based on what I was seeing in the Barzal contract. And again, the market discussion. But at 8.7, holy crap, Mike, because we get to bring in the conversation of this cap going up, and Larkin left us a little extra wiggle room there. This is
I would not say it again like that though. That was pretty gross, man. But the little head nod, I don't know what that was. Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited.
I gotta rib you a little bit. No, this is a huge deal. Not just for the Red Wings having a captain, a leader, the engine of the team. But yeah, that's why I wanted to say it's a huge win for Yzerman's cap sheet. And I kind of feel like Larkin, when he signed the deal, I feel like he also looked at Steve and took him by the shoulders and said, please, 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 don't make that surplus amount of money that's available on the cap sheet. Please don't just make that an easier payday for ownership. Please get me some help so we can win some games against the Senators, and then lo and behold, find ourselves in the playoffs. Please let it go towards that. I feel like that would be one of the top requests from Larkin in that negotiation room. So I want the money. I want security. I'm already from this area. I'm just a hop up the highway to get to Waterford. But please get me some help. And his contract number is going to make that an easier task. But we still got to see how that pans out.
And I want to jump back into the comments here for a second. Tristan, these next 2 days are going to be awesome. Excited to see what Stevie Y has in store for us. Blake throws in there. I agree, Tristan. It's like Christmas. Oh, I got to apologize. Murdoch goes, don't remind me of that penalty shot. I'm sorry. Jody wants to know, do you think Bertuzzi gets traded tonight? I think there's a very good chance it happens in the next couple of days, but we'll get into more of that in a minute. I just don't want you to go away, Jody. That's part of the plan tonight. Sam coming in. Yo, here we go. Bring on Casper and Mazer. Sam, I love it. Blake, I don't want him to go. That's of course in response to the Tuesday comment. Murdoch, maybe not tonight, but I think he's gone Friday. Yeah, Chewy thrown out there. Larkin got an extra 0.2 million. He was thinking 8.5. Blake thrown out there. Larkin could have easily gotten 20% more in free agency. Blake, that's an amazing point. Like, there's one conversation we can have about like hometown discounts and what we did end up signing Larkin for. Man, if he hits free agency, a center, a top line center goes on free agency. I mean, do we say, you guys can correct me in the chat. I'm just gonna say Tavares off the top of my head. Humongous. Like, that was a huge free agent signing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, both in what it meant for their franchise, what it still means too is a whole nother story. But dollar wise, humongous. So Blake,
Yeah,
you're nailing it.
I think at that 8.7 too. I really love how Cap Friendly organizes everything to kind of see how guys pan out and what they're earning. With what Larkin took, I mean he took a deal that's like a clear tier, like below the top paid guys, and I mean that really helps the team out. But I'm hoping we can touch on it in a minute because I really hope we can get this poor guy some help.
Enke thrown out there. He nailed it. He was at 8 and 8.71. So he was right there. Mike, did you freeze? What happened? You were mid sentence.
Yeah, I think it froze for a sec.
Oh,
But I was just gonna say, with all this extra cap space, I'm not dying to trade Bertuzzi at this time. I guess maybe that's one of the first questions we want to ask, like the people listening, is do you want to pursue something like what we got for Hronek, or do you think that he would, God, be part of some, Mantha Vrana type deal, where you're somehow magically getting some sort of upgrade by maybe throwing in one of those Hronek picks? Because I just
well, let's talk about that Hronek trade real quick. Because we also got a nice little present from Jared that we'll share here. Hronek brings in a first round pick, originally the New York Islanders pick, in the 2023 NHL entry draft, which I think I saw as top 12 protected, which means that the Islanders did research regarding what, how many guys are on this draft list that we'd be pretty happy getting. 12. And then of course we get the second round pick in the 2023 why am I? It's this year's draft. Jesus.
Yeah,
all right.
this year.
Words. But I did want to call out, Jared threw it out there. We got to say goodbye to Hronek, right? So
I mean, not that picture. Where's the awesome mustache? I want that one.
Well, we've got a nice little goodbye.
Oh no. We just have a slideshow going. Is there an audio element to this?
There's no audio.
We're just watching his mustache develop here as the slides go by.
Yeah.
All right.
There's audio. There's I Will Remember You is playing on my screen right now. Now I ruined it because we had to break the fourth wall. All right. Well, sorry. Sorry, Jared. I ruined it because the music wasn't playing. All right. Let's. I can't believe I ruined that for you, Jared. I hope that didn't take too much time. I'm so sorry, man. All right. But this is my favorite part. Oh, that's my daughter, by the way. For anybody that saw that big old squishy head from a couple years ago. This is my favorite part so far today of this Hronek trade. Dear Patrick Alvin, maybe don't pick up the phone next time Steve Yzerman calls. Or do, because we could all use a laugh once in a while. So this is the national perspective right now on this trade, that this is an absolute Steve Yzerman fleecing. Another Yzerman fleece. That Hronek is not going to live up to what he did this year. This career stats, remember, all of this was when he had his mustache going. Most of it, I should say, not all of it. A good chunk. And when you pull that out, the points per game looks like the rest of the career. And now he's moving to Vancouver. So I don't know. The things aren't looking great over there. I guess, we'll see what happens. I don't hate Hronek, but this might have been a bit much for Vancouver to give up. So I'm very happy with this.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
This is going to be because it's the Islanders' first rounder. So it's going to be like at best, like a middle of the first round pick, right?
Sorry, Jared.
It's going to be a middle of the first round pick, right?
I mean, we don't know. It depends. This could end up being a 2024 first round pick if the Islanders really tank it up here. Remember that Barzell's still out, I think.
Oh,
So this is the remember, we got to do that. We got to connect the dots here that this doesn't matter what Vancouver does. It matters what the Islanders do.
So I think that the hilarity is in why was Vancouver the team making this trade, right?
Mhm.
Because they're at the bottom of the standings, and what do they? Yeah, Hronek probably could be their top defenseman. He does do a good job on the right side. He does bring some offense. He does like hitting people. He's having a good season this year. And I just don't want to be too seduced by a pick having first in front of it, because it's very difficult to get top pairing defensemen or your first line forwards. So I don't hate the move. I kind of want to see where this goes before we start doing cartwheels, and we got to look at trade grades, and Vancouver gets an F and Detroit gets an A, and it's for me, I would want to see if this pick turns into something before we start doing parades for Yzerman being such a smart trader. We haven't seen what player he took with the pick, so it's not enough to just have a first round pick. Is this going to be like a Costa thing where it's a guy we're going to see in like 6 years? So that means that this doesn't really help the current team, and how far does it set us back? There's questions. I'm not ready to give it an A plus. It's an incomplete grade for me.
I like Tristan throughout there. To be fair, if Hronek plays with Quinn Hughes, he could pop off. I agree with that. And one of the things Vancouver fans quickly threw out there was like how tough it's been to find a right side D man. But Tristan's right. Like we clearly win this trade. I think this works for us right now. It's an overpay. And I think earlier somebody mentioned, it might have even been Tristan, but that Bertuzzi would make a ton in the free agent market when we were talking about Dylan Larkin. And he said he's a better Tanner Janot. And I thought Tanner's, or I should say the return Tanner was insane to me. Like that was insanely high. So maybe it's just picks are flying right now, and it's not really a win because the value.
At some point, Matt, I'd like to stop winning trades and start winning games.
I guess it's just so depressing, isn't it? Right now,
we won the Verona trade. Cool. He doesn't even play anymore. He's a healthy scratch. We traded for an Islanders first round pick. Let's see what it turns into first before we do a parade. That's what I'm saying. So I don't hate it. We did fleece Vancouver. They have a terrible GM. I don't know what they're thinking, but I would like to start winning games. This is not going to make that easier this season. Maybe it helps further down the road, but this just means we're going to have a little bit more patience with this team.
I agree.
Because again, he doesn't have a bananas contract. It was only $4 million. It was a manageable number. I know he had restricted free agency coming up in what, 2 years, but he's still making less than Sherratt. So
right. I mean, that was the thought I had too, where it was like, there was a real problem. And it's not like anybody's jumping at grabbing Sherratt. So it's not like you can just say, oh, why didn't we just put Sherratt in this trade?
What if we say keep your second rounder and we'll throw in Sherratt?
Right.
We'll
now I want to present this. This guy's on my fantasy team, so I know I know how not worthwhile it is. But I want to bring this up because Frank Saravelli is not looking at this trade and saying, all right, Wings are going to pick up a couple more draft picks. Instead, Frank Saravelli said, look out for Steve to make a move for a guy like this. Now, again, what's the market value on a Colton Parayko right now with his production? League minimum compared to the $6.5 million salary.
I haven't even looked at his stats yet. Just saying that he's a St. Louis Blue makes me think he's going to be a Red Wing very soon.
I think that's where Saravelli was kind of connecting the dots like from the start. But, Parayko got this pay for a reason. Like, there have been better years, but I would hope it's not Parayko, but I like that Saravelli. And honestly, I was right there too. I was like, I don't think, to your point, you're like, great. I don't want to make another Sebastian Cossa draft pick. We get to watch him grow up for 5 years and then cross our fingers that 6th year he's good to go. I do think, and I think this is why Saravelli, who probably didn't nail the right player, but is going in that direction, looking at St. Louis because of all the times that Detroit and St. Louis trade together. But I think it's basically this, what's Steve Yzerman going to do with these picks before the end of the trade deadline or maybe on draft day? But either way, I think that is what's happening here. I think Steve's stocking up on assets to improve on those assets and upgrade them. If it's timeline wise, that's an upgrade. Have we packaged 2 first-round picks because we're not super confident with what's going to be in front of us at the time that we draft? That might be the case. We've talked about before, and Corey Pronman restated it this last Friday, if you guys want to listen to it on the Athletic podcast, but he restated with the help of Max Boltman's questioning, because maybe they're really huge fans of Red Wings Rant. They restated, yes, top 10 picks for real. Like, go for it. This is deeper than most drafts. Everything else, meh. Get out of the top 10 picks. Sure, you could fall in love with someone just like we do every year, but the rate isn't increasing for those guys becoming NHL stars. That's what Pronman's point was. That's what, like Mike, you were saying yourself, you're done with the win being a draft pick. I'm hoping with Saravelli's take, kind of my first thought, this isn't done. And I kind of hope that's the direction we're going.
Yeah, I think for me, that's best case scenario. I'm sorry. I don't want to flesh out our bottom 6 in the year 2026.
I'm kind of bummed because I kind of thought it was Chychrun, and then he got moved to Ottawa, who fucked us again.
I do have a new favorite comment of the day, though. Chewy thrown in there. Vancouver almost threw in Pettersson, but Yzerman told him, man, that's okay. I've already fleeced you enough. Woo! And if you want to do the next one down, Tristan with the pie in the sky. Woo! Stevie comes in.
Wow. All right.
Man. I mean, St. Louis really thrown in the white flag, if that's the case.
Tristan thrown in there. I thought you were going to read it. Parayko and Jordan Kyrou out of St. Louis. Who Tristan's right. They're selling very hard. I'd be curious to what extent that offer goes, but also I still would say, like, I get it with the Parayko. I get why that was like a name Saravelli like connected the dots and got to. But fuck, man, I don't know. The numbers are pointing down just like they do for Ben Chiarot. So yeah. I don't need to mess around with that. Because Steve made a great signing earlier in the week that was like, all right, cool. He's signing the guys that we're all fans of. All right, cool. We'll get into that. But
another just comment here from Jim Johnson. Just saying, does Edvinsson come up, or do we expect to trade at the deadline for another D?
Well, that's interesting, right? Because we're talking about, and this was kind of something I wanted to get to. So let's do this, right? We hinted at it. Jake Wallman also signed, right? And we traded away a right side defenseman. Whew. Okay. So next season, we've got Ben Chiarot, Olli Maatta, Jake Wallman, all considered to be left side defensemen, which, of course, we all learned was made popular in the Mike Babcock era of coaching. So maybe we're done with that. Maybe Ben Chiarot is so bad we have to make all this time work. Maybe he's better on the right side. Who fucking knows?
I like that we just keep giving him different partners, and hell, let's give him the other side of the ice. You know,
I know it was kind of
maybe
Hronek
he'll be
turns in like
emergency goaltender. Let's make him emergency goaltender up in the rafters with Steve. How about that?
I just think it's so funny that Hronek like turned in his best numbers of his career with Olimata. We give him to Ben Sherratt, and it's just no. We got to get rid of Hronek, man. This is done. He's cooked. That's what happens to you. But basically, I mean the easy point I'm making here, we mix in Edvinsson into this. That is 4 left side defensemen trying to get a spot, and 1 right side defenseman and Moritz Seider.
Murdoch in there throwing in a possible acquisition. Am I crazy for thinking Steve would try to get Erik Karlsson? Yes. Not
There
that
was
not that he's, outside the realm of being acquired, but I think he's a little past like peak wise age, with where he sees the trajectory of the team and when they're all going to be at that spot where they're all kind of starting to hit their primes. I don't think that that's a guy he would pursue. Maybe a couple years ago it'd be a little more feasible, but that looks like a trade I would make in the NHL video game.
I don't know if you guys saw this one, but Vladislav Nemestikov just got traded to the Sharks. I was heading to Cap Friendly, and that was the first thing on there. Just want to throw that out there.
By the way, hats off to the NHL. I mean, they looked at the NBA this season and said, fuck off with your Kevin Durant. We're going to have 80 million trades this year. We don't give a damn. And there's players flying around like hotcakes.
You know what? This brings up the old office conversation. Would you rather have like a little bit of really good pizza, or would you rather have a lot of okay pizza?
A medium amount of really good pizza.
Yeah, it's because I'm like, there's all these little dinks and dunks, and I think I'm a lot of bad pizza. I'll take a lot of bad pizza over a medium amount of really good pizza at this point.
And at some point, we left Jody hanging because the question's in there again about Bertuzzi getting traded tonight.
Not tonight.
Maybe not tonight, but I do like talking about it. I think I'd still be surprised if he does get moved. We had that commentary that he was removed from the block. I mean, we freed up this cap space, presumably to fill it up with people who are, playing for money, and moving that contract for another draft pick, further down the road. It would be a nice cap sheet move, but I think they want to try and figure out what does this team look like, when they're healthy and they actually have a full NHL squad. So I feel like they would buy before they just sell Bertuzzi. I would be pretty stunned if they traded him.
Now, you bring Erik Karlsson into the mix. That's almost 14% of your cap, and he's also signed through 26, 27. Which we've talked about this before. We've talked about Erik Karlsson. That meets a need for the right side of your D. Very similar, if you want to paint a guy a particular way, you say that he's built the same way as Hronek. Is he an upgrade over Hronek? Sure. Is there a reason that people don't immediately put Karlsson number 1 on their Norris list? Yeah, because there's a hell of a fucking number following that name. 11.5 million. Which is funny. It's funny. Like, he's having a hell of a season. Like, he's having like a second career year right now, going for like a point per game total, Karlsson. Mm-hmm. So maybe he should win the Norris, because this will be it. You know how NHL awards work. But yeah, I mean that's it. Like, I think there's a reason that people, when they do their mid-season voting, aren't giving it to Karlsson. And it's because of what goes attached to being Karlsson. And it's like, well, yeah, you paid him this much. We should have been getting this every year. And sure, there's the injuries and stuff, but there was still a contract that was signed. So I think that I just want to say, like, it's not going to happen because there's just too much attached to it, and you'd have to ask San Jose for, what is that, 5 years
salary retention
to eat a significant amount. Yeah.
That's where it could possibly be easier to acquire him if you say, look, you could give us less draft capital, which is what makes Yzerman's ears perk up. But if there's one thing Yzerman loves, it's draft picks. Anything he hates, it's a dirty cap sheet. Woo! That's a lot of money on one man. It's a lot of cheddar. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So if we look at, and I guess I can bring this up because I'm cheating with cap friendly right now. Kyrou, 8. I mean, he's going to be right up there with Larkin. 8.125. How long is this one going? Till 2030, 31. And then Parayko till 2029, 30. That's 6.5 mil.
Real quick, just Joey Furtaw, welcome. Saying give the first round back from Hronek for Quinn Hughes. Got him. Sorry, you were saying about the next fleecing we're gonna do here on the Blues.
I guess to me with Parayko at 29, I mean that's like our punishment for getting Kyrou, right? At this point, if you want to look at it that way. That's how I'm looking at it right now. And then I mean, for anybody not familiar, let me see if I can find our boy real quick here. All right. Market value 5.2. We'd be paying him 8. He's not quite there. He's 24, so that's what happens. Also playing with a team. So there's a lot mixed in here. I think oh man, you guys are gonna see all my trends and stuff. I'm trying to close this out. Oh, I'm on the wrong window. All right, there we go. Boop. Yeah, it's just it's not
plays
fun
on
right
the
now.
wing, right? He plays on the wing, right?
Yeah,
so he'd be playing with Larkin and Raymond, I guess.
Yeah, I mean Raymond's not playing on the top line right now.
But when he kind of gets cleaned up again.
Perron, the former St. Louis Blue, is. I mean, isn't there a little bit of you that's going to be a little embarrassed next season when we roll in with Sonny, Perron, Jordan Kyrou, Parayko, Robbie Fabry?
It didn't work for the Blues last year, but it's going to work for us this year.
Oh, they're all a year older? Sign me up.
Sign them up. 4 years of pop. Bring them in.
Yeah, I like that point quite a bit. But, maybe maybe you mix some good from St. Louis with some good of Detroit and everything just starts to shake out.
Real quick plug for Fethstar. Welcome back, bud. Haven't seen you in a minute. We got Crimson Shadow in here. Well, Hronek's gone. So now it's time to bring up Edvinsson or Johansson. Yeah, it's probably might be a little bit early. And Matt is very, very convincingly talking me into the Wings moving some of these recently acquired picks into actual playing human beings this season. So
I mean,
if that happens.
It fits what you want, right? Like you said, you're done with these games.
I'm not against it. I would be surprised. I will be happily surprised.
Okay.
Jensen would be a great grab. Are you talking about the former wing on the Capitals?
Hell yeah, he is.
Oh, brother.
He's got right now 2.4 million in surplus value according to Dom's player cards. But I know it would take me a second to pull up, but I know Jay Fresh's player cards has Nick Jensen measured out in the 90s right now.
Doesn't hurt. Do you think
take a 90%
would
war?
Pursue I don't know if it would really sign. It would count as a retread for Yzerman because we didn't have Jensen as an Yzerman overlap.
Oh, Filip Hronek getting pulled up on the J Fresh player cards right now. For anybody wondering, 89% war as we continue the conversation right now. Man, all right. If anybody is a J Fresher, every fucking tab has a person in it right now. This is crazy. Like you have to share it with thousands of people. It's sometimes it's funny because I like to somebody will pull somebody up and I'll immediately pull up another person, so they have to do it again, which is a dick move. It is, but
oof. Can I
Nick
throw in
Jets,
there too,
93% projected WAR.
nice.
Be-
Can I say though that this Red Wings team, do we really have a beef with acquiring more defensemen? We literally are stacked with defensemen up the ass. And this team loses games because they don't score goals, and they've been on the other side of goals for versus goals against. Basically, since we've been doing this show, Matt.
I know.
They
Look at
they
their
don't
hands,
they
though.
have a top 3 and a bottom 9. They don't have a
Look at
top 6 offense. Their power
look.
play just went 0 for 8, and I gotta say I'm not really excited to bring in another defenseman. Can we get some guys who score goals?
Look at this. The hand they shoot with. There's more than one problem with this team. We also gave up 6 goddamn goals 2 nights in a row to Ottawa.
Yeah, but we should be scoring 7.
No, see, there's more than one issue here. We could talk about bringing in a forward and a defenseman, but I will not succumb to the don't trade for a defenseman. There's enough holes on this team. God damn it!
Matt. No.
Shut up with your no.
I feel it's. I mean, you can find some defensemen. Those guys are, dime a dozen. Nobody was. Nobody gave a hoot. I don't even know if there's any other competing offers. Like when we got Wallman and Mata, and now those guys are like, oh, cool. Now we're gonna keep them for like 2-3 extra more years because they're actually pretty serviceable. This is pretty nice. So I'm saying it's going to be a lot easier to find like that guy in that role rather than a guy who actually scores goals. So I know we need a righty defenseman, right? But I wish when we looked at our statistics, goal wise, point wise, it wasn't just Larkin and the Pips. I wish we had some help for this guy on his line, Matt. And I know we can chalk it up to boo-boos for Bertuzzi, Veronov, his boo-boos, and Raymond having maybe a sophomore slump, but maybe not, but maybe so. David Perron is, how old is he? 58 now. It doesn't look like he's going to be peppering in goals anytime soon. So I got to say, please, the next priority has to be somebody who can score. Please.
I told you. I will not. My heels are dug in. Both. They're both problems. All right, we got to do a quick break. We'll be right back.
The action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially after the Super Bowl. You guys think it's all over, but there's tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports. You can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season like never before. Right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You could throw down on all the major action for the NBA, obviously for the NHL. Golf's going to get rolling. We've got same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, over-unders, and props for you to bet on. It's honestly, it's going to feel endless to you. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit, withdraw your cash whenever you want. I promise. I've done it myself. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN and make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code THPN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
And we're back. Here, I found a list that we could play around with. So some of these guys are, oh my God, there's a loud video on this. Oh, my ears.
Oh, it didn't hear us over here. We're okay.
Good. You guys are super lucky. Jesus. All right. Here's TSN's trade bait from March 1st. Oh, that's today. So of course Chikrin's gone. So Tyler Bertuzzi, number 2 on this list. Woo! After he was removed from the list a week ago.
There's smoke again.
JVR from Philly, 33 years old, cap hit $7 million. He's a UFA at the end of the year.
Not quite on our timeline.
Brock Besser, 25 years old.
Definitely in our timeline.
But Do you want a guy who sucks ass?
I mean, is he good at it?
He's so good at it. Holy shit. You're going to love
All
him.
right, now you're talking. There we go.
Look, I get it. Like all the other, shows around here. You know what? Shows for other hockey teams. They're like, have you guys checked out Brock Besser yet? It hasn't come together with Vancouver. So you're playing the game. Well, probably paid a little extra few dollars, but you're playing the game of like, maybe it'll work out for us. Opposed to, like when the Red Wings play that game with like Fabry and he's getting paid nothing. I don't know. I couldn't think of a funny thing to say, but he's getting paid peanuts. That's hilarious. Gets paid peanuts. You bring in Fabry. Let's see if it works out. And now he's got a long career with the Red Wings where he's on our first goddamn fucking power play. And we thought this was a playoff team. Anyway, Brock Besser. Issues. Not a superstar. Do you put him with Dylan Larkin and all of a sudden he's a superstar? Well, he had opportunities to play with Pettersson and Bo Horvat in different spots, and Vancouver's ready to trade him away. So, no thank you. And you guys can want him. I'll open up the comments here. We've got 19 that I missed.
Well, I mean, let's cherry pick. I don't want to go through all these names because why are we even, Cam Talbot? Who cares?
Ooh,
Matt, do you care about like the little Nick Schmaltz action? Arizona? Does that do anything for you?
Not really, no.
He would be second on our team in points.
That guy that's 14th on the list, I wouldn't mind giving him a shot on our first fucking power play.
What would it take for him? Do we have to give up some picks to play this Jakub Vrana? Who is that? Do we need to give up draft capital to play him, or how does that work?
I don't know how we play a whole game of... Look, I get it. Vasilevskiy played amazing, but also there were chances on net, and there were blown chances. Put Verada in a scoring role, please. God fucking damn it. I like Blake's take. Blake said I'd take Tom Wilson. I mean, that solves a couple problems. He's not on this list, I don't think. But I mean, Washington's blowing things up. And can you go to Washington with a juicy enough offer where you get the tough guy that would make sure Jake Wallman doesn't get his clock cleaned twice against Ottawa, and the guy puts pucks in the back of the net? I fucking hate Tom Wilson, but I would so welcome not hating him anymore. Why do I say his name out loud and now all of a sudden I'm like, why do I feel like that? I don't know. Can I go back to the list? Because I'm not supposed to say that.
Can you go back to the list real quick?
Oh, you said to go away from it. Yeah.
I don't really care about these players. There's not a lot. Come on, St. Louis first round pick. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, this list blows.
That's
what I'm telling you.
One thing that the list does that I think we could, kind of get in our noggins is the teams that you want to pillage from, the teams that are basically open for business. And that's where you're starting to see, it just makes me so mad when Cam Talbot's name keeps sticking out. But I mean, you'd be trying to steal guys from Arizona. You'd be trying to make more moves with Vancouver. Like, see if they want to add on to this trade they've already agreed to, kind of thing, where, Washington, Chicago's, the teams that are wide open for business. Those are the teams you want to take advantage of. That's why I like some of those Sharks ideas. And it's almost like, my God, Matt, is there actually a scenario where we could call up Vancouver again to be like, listen, we want to take Pettersson off your hands for multiple firsts?
Yeah, I think I think they've even made the statement like, Pettersson, Quinn, they're our boys. We're going to try and retool with them. So, I don't know. Tristan, he doesn't mind Besser. Jim's right here. This is nothing, this is a little off topic, but yeah, I thought Arizona was asking for more and would have gotten more for Chychrun. And when I saw that return, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of would have done that.
Yeah, they clung to that guy like it was Durant. Like they were going to get, 10 first-round picks or something, and it was just kind of a Hronek return. So it was little
Crimson,
bizarre.
I'd be cool with Schmaltz on the wing. Tristan, he's just good because he plays with Keller. Crimson thrown out there. You get Tom Wilson, throw him with Rast and Sonny, and it's a new version of the Redwoods. Jim just thrown out there. Maybe it's just the Detroit Blues continues.
Yeah.
Tristan, he's his own source. Tristan, I love you. I have 5 posts on Reddit this past few weeks on Schmaltz. Don't do it. Makes 0 sense. From Tristan. Sourced by Tristan. No, I'm right there with you, Tristan. I'm maybe I saw your Reddit post, but I'm not too excited. Dan B, you added Tom Wilson type when you're ready to make a run for the cup. Sadly, Wings aren't ready for that right now. Yeah, I mean I could see that, but I also look up and down their prospect list, and I don't see right now where that's getting added in. We have some size, but I feel like a lot of these guys are skill players. And I think it's pretty rare to find a Tom Wilson. So if that option was presented to you, I think I would consider it. Jared, list blows. Focus on said list for 10 minutes. Oh, he's making fun of us. It does blow. I hate this list. Why are we still looking?
Get it off the
I
screen.
I tried to get rid of it, and you
get it
asked me
off
to
the
bring it back
screen,
up.
Matt.
God
Get it
damn
off the screen.
All right. Joey wants to know if Bushelnikov becomes Kucherov 2.0.
I've
hope
seen
so.
him play 0 seconds. I've heard things are great overseas. That'd be great. Never seen him play.
I know. It's Joey, we're frustrated right now. This was maybe the wrong day to ask this because we're so frustrated with the we're frustrated with the whole like, oh, look at all these cool prospects we have, and like maybe Tampa's like Breezeball like threw out there. He's like, well, we looked at what draft picks and the chances of them becoming NHLers were, so we decided to give Nashville 100 draft picks for Tanner to make sure nobody else got Tanner Janot.
Well, it's like why do we have to talk about prospects? We have Berggren, and they want to give him healthy scratches. So it seemed like that guy knew what he was doing offensively. So before we even go into wide, global stretching dudes who we've never seen play an actual game, so I can't attest to how good they are. I've seen Berggren play, and apparently Lalone has seen enough to give him a scratch.
I am so sorry, Tristan. He said I've seen 5 posts on Schmaltz. I thought Tristan was like, go check out my post on Reddit. Then
I'm gonna add a 6th one. How about that?
Oh, see, and now I'm making Tristan angry. Sorry, buddy. Jared,
Schmaltz the trigger.
Matt, we don't do that here.
D Coy wants Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. Nice.
I like well, that's something where issues with the coach, and I don't know, was the GM also saying something where it's just like, okay, well, no, center winger could be on the market for Rob. Blake thrown out there, we have to move the needle. Besser doesn't do it. Basically, I would put it like this. Do you guys really want to trade for a middle 6 forward? Like I'm not, if we could get Besser for nothing, I'm not going to be upset about that, but I'm not going to look at Besser and go, oh man, we pull in Besser, playoff race back on, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
It's just,
do I have to look up the J Fresh player card?
Sometimes it just gets so tough though. Like, we are going to be hypercritical of, trading for a middle 6 forward, but we're all very excited about a middle of the first round pick, which is where you normally draft those guys. So we're getting one that hasn't proven himself yet. We got another new name in there. Is it just Justicia? Valentina? Lock down the D now. They're going to keep. Now going to have, we got like 4 comments in a row. Now going on to forward, starting with Cap. Yeah, I think that kind of echoes what we were talking about earlier. It seems like they have a little more stability defensively, and at least for me, I know Matt said there's a lot of holes for this team to fill. Can't really debate that, but yes, I too would like to see a little focus on the forwards. But Matt, woo, has a sexy new player card for us here.
Brock Besser up 14% projected WAR. Mike not driving the play in either direction. Even strength offense and even strength defense sucks. When that puck gets in the zone against Brock Besser, it stays. Oh wait, I'm sorry. In the D zone. It stays in the D zone. I'm so fucking dumb. All right, I'm done.
But I would say if he was on the ice with 99 other players, he would be better than 13 of them.
That's a great point. So it's good. I mean, there's a small percentage, but we're guaranteed to have a couple of Brock Besser goals, once a month.
I was being a little facetious. Yeah,
I was playing along.
This is not candidate number one.
I did not sell that properly. I was playing along.
No. I mean, Matt, if you're gonna Sherratt for Bozer, 1 for 1, do you do it?
I would do Besser for Sherratt, no problem. Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah. Reeled you right in. Gotcha.
Yeah. No, you got me. I'll go for it.
Do the Canucks fall for that?
Yeah. Let's do it. Who says no? Nobody. They're both in.
Both players, both franchises, both fan bases say yes.
Crimson, Jesus, that graph looks like Kmart sales projection.
Oh, got him. Crimson's been on fire today.
Oh no, Justica, is Hronek gone for real?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Dan
B. No more middle six guys, please.
Dan, just be careful. You keep trading for these middle of the first round picks. That's what you're getting.
They're going to be packaged. I'm telling you guys, this is not going to be the same game.
I hope.
It's not going to be the same game. All right. What else did we have to talk about? What did we add? We added the guy who leads the Quebec Montreal Junior Hockey League in goals. Now I'm in a bad mood. I was excited to have this episode, and you put me in a bad mood.
Why? What did I do?
He's 5th in points in the Q. Oh my God, I can't do it. QMJHL, 89 points, but he also leads them in goals with 45. This is not a bad move at all, but it is. What did I text you earlier, Mike? This does not hurt us in any way. It's a good move. It is not an exciting move. If you guys are blowing a load because of this, whoo, doggies. Well, hey, you're patient. If you're blowing a load because of this signing, hats off. You are one of the more patient hockey fans on planet Earth.
Well, I think
the more I talk to Mike, I get
for this move. The one thing to mention is everybody's slinging around first round picks, getting guys for their top 6 or their top pairing defensemen, and the first thing the Red Wings do is like, yeah, well, we're in the action too. Boom! What do you think of that? We got Alexandre Doucet. Suck on that, NHL. Woo! Luckily, more news came in with, Hronek and Larkin, but it was hilarious that this was our attempt to stay relevant in the big hockey news day.
All right. Blake, you need Sherratt. Give him a break. Sherratt has given us...
Matt
he's given us...
I'm sorry, Blake. Matt had that teed up for you. That was mean. Matt, take that back.
You ruined
Blake did not deserve what you just did to him. Let me throw that comment in there with one of these. Boom!
I did get to cheat. I looked up the player card before I pulled up Blake's comment. But sure, I was going to say before Mike was excited. So I am happy you were excited with this. But I was going to say we don't need to give Sherratt a break because he gave the Red Wings, the Panthers, and the Montreal Canadiens a very lengthy break in his terrible play. A man pinches at the wrong time. He's in terrible position, and everyone he plays with, their statistics go in the shitter. And it's the exact opposite of as I pointed out on Twitter, the Lidstrom effect. And I wish it was different, but even in Ottawa, Mr. Bruiser, when our asses were getting kicked, did nothing. don't see I can't see a value anymore. You guys told me before the season started, when Mike and I were like, fuck, I hate this Sherratt signing. You guys were like, no, grit. He's going to bring grit. Where's the grit? I'm sorry. I don't see the grit. I see every now and then I make a video and I'm just like in shock that there was a great play from Sherratt. That should not be the case. I should not just be like, holy shit. Look at that one time he lifted a stick and took, and that's what it is. He's always lifting somebody's fucking stick. He's not smashing someone into the boards. Like we saw that for like a month. I'm sorry, Blake. I'm getting too angry, but I don't see it.
I
don't
admire Blake, and there's a few defenders out there. There's still a few truthers for Sherratt.
I want to keep you as a friend because I love it when you comment on the show. So I feel like I'm going too hard here, and I'm just angry at Sherratt. So you could be right. There's a lot of feelings here.
I think we just need to adjust Blake's comment. You need him to perform at what they're paying him. You need that because you got 3 more years of this bullshit. So he better figure it out or pretend he has a core injury like Kopp did for a while.
Can I highlight that? Nope, there was a problem. He's also 30-1, and we have him for another 3 years after this one. He better hope that when he gets moved to the right side, things just worked out magically.
Yeah. I think
like this whole time he was supposed to be a right
devil's advocate. If you play a little devil's advocate, we got the Lucas Raymonds, we got the Berggrens, little fellas. So I think I see philosophically where you bring in like an older, long in the tooth, beefcake to get out there and maybe level things out a little bit on the ice. But it's just, man, his contributions have just been dragging. Just to put it in perspective, he's made Seider look mortal. That's how bad he is. He made Seider look like, oh, maybe he isn't as good as we thought he was, until he gave Seider a real partner again. He's like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. The guy we've tied so much of our future hopes and dreams into is actually still a star. Thank God. So that's how bad Sherratt is. If he made Seider look mortal, that's not good.
I mean, we showed the highlight earlier. Larkin's the one who laid out Tkachuk yesterday. It wasn't Sherratt. Sherratt could put his career on the line and just do something nasty to that little punk. And he didn't do it. Then right now, this episode would have been called "Extend Sherratt First Chance You Get." Like that, I would have titled the episode that if he knocked Tkachuk's head off, but he didn't. So I get it. Like I said today, I was like, yeah, let's fucking see if Tom Wilson, I don't know. Let's find a Tom Wilson that's younger. That would be wonderful. I don't know if that exists, but Tom Wilson seems to be the best at what he does, where he's fucking asshole. He actually clobbers people and he actually scores. Where Tkachuk is just like this little pissy bitch who does not hit people and he deserves to get his head fucking knocked off. But he does put points in, so there's that. So I don't want Tkachuk. I want a Tom Wilson type.
I know, but with Wilson, do we want a guy named after a volleyball?
Or was the volleyball named after?
Don't do it. No.
Tommy Boy.
Take it back. All right. Jared thrown in there.
Oof.
I just got rid of.
Oh, yeah. Here. Sorry. Oh, God.
Oh, Joey thrown. Oh,
I know. Oh, man. I can't wait to bring Joey's comment back
up. Those comments blow up. Sherratt made Seider look like Eriksson. Yeah, he did.
Speaking of Swedish hockey players, Joey throws in there. Edvinsson is just Soderblom on D. Now we're talking physicality here. Like we're talking, I hope, right, Joey?
I thought he meant height, like he's big.
Oh, big, right. Yeah, that's man. What you meant, Joey. High five.
Large man. Yeah.
He's just a tall guy. Good call, Joey. No, I think we all know what Joey means. I mean, we're not calling these guys up and then all of a sudden everyone's protected. Dan said yes, but do you really want Larkin running it, guys? I don't. No, I don't. I was saying I wanted Sherratt to do it. Maybe Dan's commenting on somebody else's comment there. Jim Johnson, Brady and Matthew are just like their dad. Pissy little bitches. I finished your comment, Jim. Jim's finished it dead for all the podcast listeners. Yeah, you guys, there's an Easter egg in the YouTube episode description if you guys want to check that out. I think I kept it in. Jared thrown out there. That was Matt's point. Sherratt was supposed to be the enforcer, and he's not. Jim, we need another Vladdy. Oh man, that would be wonderful. I love the conversations like when, like, Lidstrom wasn't supposed to win all those Norris trophies. It was supposed to be Vladdy, and goddamn fucking life. God. Still brings a tear to my eye.
Soap Dish throwing in some heat right now. Fans are so reactive, always want to overhaul the team based on a weekend. You know what, Soap Dish? I'm guilty of that sometimes. But
for sure.
It's also reflective of, this rebuild. It feels like it's been forever.
Well, and, you know what? We had one topic saved up.
Uh-oh. You got a topic in the can?
It's not done. We're not done. It's not done. This is where the conversation of Steve could still bring something in with all these draft picks. I know you get rid of Hronek. You're not really on the megaphone going, we're still in it. But, there's a possibility here.
Got a lot of ground to make up. We just got to leap over a third of the league. Great. Okay.
Four games back of, I'm going to say crappy. 4 games back of the crappy Islanders, and you are only 6 points back. We already made up that ground a couple weeks ago. Obviously, Ottawa, man, they blow. So you can leapfrog them.
Yeah.
Can I just say, like, the amount of people that were mad at me like a week and a half ago that found like a tweet I made about the Senators. So this is before these 2 games. I was like, we left points on the table when we played the Senators earlier in the season. And they were like, I don't know, man. We're like right there. And I was like, fuck off. And here we are. So Florida, how many games in hand? We have 2 games in hand. We're only back by 2 points. Buffalo, I mean, they've got 2 points on us, but they're at, they've got a game in hand. So let's just call it 4 points or whatever. So that Buffalo seems to be pretty tough. And Pittsburgh's is at 69 points, and we have the same amount of games played. So we're 5 back. I mean, it's not easy. It's not done, Soap Dish, but it definitely isn't going to be easy. Go ahead.
I just like your idea because instead of focusing on how there's 5 teams above us, let's just focus on the Islanders who have 4 games in hand, and maybe that'll just look at 1 team instead of all 5.
Right.
That sounds like Lalone in the locker room. All right, let's just erase this team and that one and that one. We only got 1 team to catch.
Is there?
We can do it.
When do we start having the conversation about like how mild-mannered Lalone is, and we come out of a game where we lose 6-2, tells the media we'll be better tomorrow,
when I'm in the car
and
by myself, and I'm just trying to get myself in the headspace to like do an impression. All I say is, "Gee golly shucks," we played a pretty tough game out there, and we got bunch kicked by Ottawa Senators, and hopefully we'll come back and play a little bit better tomorrow. And whoops, lo and behold, we lost by another touchdown today.
I feel like it's more penguin-y.
No, you're just looking at his face. He does not sound like that. No, it's
that's
more
all.
Like
I only hear that.
You're looking at his face. You got to hear his voice on the radio when he's talking to Ken Cal.
I don't think he's ever talked. Doesn't he just
go?
All
the time. I listen to the pregame every day.
No. He's like Waluigi.
No, Matt, you're based.
Am I projecting?
Yes.
All right.
All right, let's get back to the comments, Matt. You and you're watching Batman Returns on HBO. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Okay, so I was kind of making the point here, like, yes, mathematically we're not out, but to Soap Dish's point, which is a great point, like we really we lose our shit over like a couple of bad games, but also it is like we weren't like in it, and there's it's like, oh well, now there's less time after every game, and I know that sounds silly. It's dumb for me to say, oh, there's less time in the last games of the season, but I mean those are 2 huge losses against the wrong team, and now we're that much closer to the end of the season. So it's just It's rough. We do have an Islanders game on Saturday, so we got that going for us.
Big game.
Who's next?
I think don't we have Seattle?
Oh, is that it?
I think so.
Oh,
I think
man.
that's the redemption opportunity.
All right. Yeah, I think that's doable. All right. So you win 2 in a row. Seattle, Islanders. Let's pull this up here.
While you're doing that, I just want to blitz through a couple comments. Crimson Shadow, man, he's been on fire today. Just saying, I will say this about Soderblom. The man has more goals than Zenina with fewer games. There's another one that I really like too. Jim Johnson, the humbling truth that we have to win at least 5 in a row again. that does suck. Soap Dish with one I really liked. Even if someone like Giovanni beat up Kachuk, doesn't matter. We need to beat them on the scoreboard. Amen. That's why Matt and I are not big advocates for collecting goons. I'd rather get some goals. And then Jared had one that I really liked too. Where did that Jared comment go?
Is it when the Wings lose, they lose?
That's a good one. I think it was. Oh, he said Washington is blowing it up, and they still have a better goal differential. -14 is garbage. It absolutely is, Jared. Matt is right. We do need to shore up the defense. There's no excuse for giving up back-to-back 6-goal games against Ottawa. But I mean, that goal differential becomes a lot easier to get on the plus side when you're scoring goals, which we haven't done. My God, I can't remember the last time we had a team that I was confident in scoring goals. I'm sorry. I can't keep looking at the stat sheet and it's Larkin and nobody else. I can't do it, Matt. You can't tell me that this is digestible for you. That's impossible.
All right. First of all, did you catch this one from GLJ?
GLJ, my man. There's a guy who listens to the pregame.
He loved mine when I went.
No. He liked my voice. He liked it a lot.
Kenny says, I love Lalone, but he looks like Penguin from Batman. To your point, Mike, scratch Fabry for God's sakes. Yeah.
I'm not scratching the $5 million man.
All this bullshit about, Zadina, Berggren, or Verano. Who am I going to put in? And Fabry's over here sucking ass.
Listen, Fabry is the Sherratt of the forwards. All right. He makes $5 million, so he's playing. Too bad.
Why am I always making the fight? Like, I feel like the last few years have been like, can we keep Fabry off the ice? He's always a negative when it comes to chances given up.
No, that is one of Steve's boys. He's going to retire. He's going in the rafters, man. Just get ready. He's going in there before Fedorov. Just brace yourself.
Eric agrees on Fabs.
Eric,
Jim's got us.
You and Matt are going to be with me on banner raising night when they throw Fabs up there before Fedorov. Right. So just we're getting 3 seats. We're going to be there.
Here's the thing. Seattle, they're better than us in the standings, but I still think winnable. Islanders, again, winnable. Flyers, come on, super winnable. Then the shitty ass Blackhawks. Mike, are you prepared a week from today to have an episode after that Blackhawks game and we're on a 4 fucking game winning streak?
I won't be able to stomach that kind of emotional swing. I can't do it without medication.
We kind of need it. We kind of need a 4-game losing streak just to like nail in the coffin. But it is totally possible. If you play like you did against the Senators.
I can't keep being toyed like this. I need some give. I need something back.
Something.
Yeah.
See, Soap Dish, stop it. Fabry is better than a 0.5 point per game playing bottom 6.
Soap Dish, there's my bud.
Stop it. No.
I like it,
Fabry
Soapy.
is hot fucking garbage.
Soapy,
I
want you to spam that chat with more Fabry comments just to really grind Matt's molars. Pull up that J Fresh. It's at least a 2%.
I'm doing it.
It's at least a 2%.
Oh, I didn't pull my window down. All right, guys, don't look at my tabs. It's all porn. Oh shit, it's actually kind of good.
Hey, Soap Dish, you called it, bro.
All right,
we're gonna let you guest. You get the guest host next week.
To Soap Dish's point, his finishing is at 89%. His even strength offense, 14%. Bottom 14% of the league. Even strength defense,
looking
bottom
at
14%
it's
of the
gonna
league.
make me. It's gonna make it easy for me to finish tonight. All right, it looks pretty good.
I just don't. It's always a losing game with the Fabster. like you will always give up more than you get, and I don't like that. All right, I gotta pull this down before I do pull up like, oh, I'm gonna search pa, and then all my Pornhub history pops up. I don't know. I'm really good about not doing that. You know, gotta pull up. You got to do presentations at work, so I know not to do that. But
anytime I get
You're
Jared
so-
to say Christ,
you
it's
hate
a
this.
victory. Yeah.
Wait, where is it? There, Jared. Christ, Mike. Phrasing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and Soapy, yeah, it's true. He's not good defensively. He does produce points, and it's something. You know what? It's so weird. It's like he's not good on defense, but he does bump into people. So I feel like he's a net. He's just annoying, and I don't want to make this a Fabry pod. We got to move on.
Well, it's a point that revolves around a lot of different issues as to like why can't I have Verana on my first power play as opposed to Robbie Fabry?
Well, Dan B thrown in their advanced stats don't always tell the truth. Sometimes your eyes tell you more, and
But
that's kind of how I feel.
I see a stinky poo poo. I don't know.
That's kind of how I feel about something like I think you brought up the Patrick Kane deep cut, and he's been trash on defense for the past 3 seasons.
Trash on offense this season.
And I don't know. I feel like the Rangers are going to kind of be a little excited to have that guy on their team. So I feel like he's going to make a positive influence somehow. Oh, not a fan of Fabry's term, like his contract?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone quite understood the Fabry fetish. I wouldn't have paid him that much. I don't know who else you were really competing with. But well, here you go.
Yeah, but you've got to answer for your crimes for bringing up fucking Patrick Kane again. Stop it.
I mean,
what is the point of bringing him up?
That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal.
No, it's not.
Yes,
No,
it is.
stop it.
That Rangers team is loaded.
All right, I'm trying to find some.
You know, there's a little envy, Matt. You don't have a little envy when you see them stacking up that. Basically, they have 4 lines now. We have maybe 1. I have envy over here. That's all I'm saying. And they gave up nothing for him.
I know, but it's not like the season's been great. He is a fucking piece of shit human.
I know, but
I don't understand your fascination with the one man Patrick Kane. You can like any other. Well,
listen, he's
a
talented goal scorer. He was on a terrible Blackhawks team. Everybody plays like poop when you're on a poop team, and he does have sins. I can't excuse him.
You could just stop talking about him.
But I mean, have you listened to Thriller? And think about what Michael Jackson did. But think about Thriller, man. Patrick Kane is the Michael Jackson of hockey.
God.
There, I said it.
Well, I think we're out of topics to talk about. I think Bertuzzi does get traded. If we're talking about Patrick Kane for more than 10 seconds, we've run out of things to talk about. I think Bertuzzi is okay. I'll say this: Bertuzzi's on the trade block. Put that out there. I think it's very possible we go on a 4-game winning streak. I think we will lose to Seattle. I mean, honestly, I think we will lose to Seattle, and then the Islanders will win on Saturday, and then I'll be very sad. And I'm not saying based on the matchup. I'm saying based on what just happened with Hronek and based on these last couple of games, I just think this team is kind of headed south.
This person, I haven't seen them comment before, so welcome to the show. Enki's Holocene Hybrid.
Oh, Enki was commented last week.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember commenting on that handle. Rangers better win the cup. They have everything, or at least they have put a lot into making this year relevant for them. Dan B thrown in Rangers out in the first round, and Jared going wrong-o. I would be surprised.
Tristan says, let's talk about how Mike just made the best metaphor ever.
It's the artist versus the art, man. It's easier for me to separate it. It's harder for Matt. That's the bottom line.
Soap dish messed up not trading Bird after his 30-goal season. Probably.
Yeah, maybe Vancouver's cell phone wasn't charged or something.
Hey, Chewy, Sunday's my birthday. Happy birthday, Chewy.
Happy early birthday, bud.
Everybody say happy birthday. Oh, hit that like button if you guys feel like it.
Coming in hot, Decoy with Ben Sherrod is the Milli Vanilli of hockey. Yeah, at that 1%. Yeah, there's definitely not a real hockey player in there.
Wow. Yeah, that is Decoy. You fucking nailed it.
Oof.
Nice job.
I like this coming in for the boys too. Dan B saying pick the destination for Bert before you go. Bert to Edmonton. Oh, Jim, that's a good pick. Jared picking Calgary.
I'm gonna say Dallas. Dallas was hot on him, right? Because now it's an arms race, right? In the West, I think the East is they're good.
I just I'm gonna jump on the coattails. I like Jim's idea. I feel like old Holland will give us a little ring-a-ling. See what he can send our way.
Oh, this is Righteous 247.
Oh, what's up, dude?
Soap Dish has Bert going to Tampa or LA. Yeah, you said Jim has him going to the Oilers.
Yeah.
Jared has him going to Calgary. I think I would go Dallas and then Edmonton for sure. And I'm just going like old Detroit GMs or front office types. But yeah, I like Jim's point here. Stevie could fleece Kenny. Yeah, no problem. Tristan right there, Edmonton or Dallas. His hot take is LA. I like this game. Whose idea was this?
Yeah, are we surprised they haven't made more moves with Edmonton? Just knowing that Yzerman has already said, "Hey, what if I took your job?" What? Hey, wait, no. Yeah, have fun in Canada. But I think what we might do, guys, is this deadline is cooking. So I think we might try to do a little show's key on Friday if you're available, Matt.
Yeah, I think we'll see you guys Friday. We'll see what's going on. Maybe another.
Because I think the deadline's at what, 3 o'clock, or do they do noon?
I think it's 3.
All right.
I don't have any meetings on Friday, so I will be.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. So yeah, we'll try and do something. And Quentin,
Dan B.
Woo. Whispering those sweet nothings right before bedtime. Dan, you dirty dog. I think they did. I swear to God, I think they did say he's off the table. But that was supposed to be the same case with Uncle Bert. So
I think I brought this up on the show before, but Turcotte always ends up on my NHL 23, 22, 21 team. So I'd be all about Bert for Turcotte was Tristan's throw out there. Tristan, laugh my ass off at the Bert for Byfield. All right, awesome. You guys ready to sail off into the sunset?
Yeah, and hopefully we have some really exciting news on Friday. So I'm pumped.
Should be fun.
Talk that deadline.
Yeah, guys, thanks for coming aboard. I see the views are through the roof, so I really appreciate everybody that came along. If you want to hit that like button for us, it does a world of good for somebody to hear our silly ranting today and how we went from the highs of highs to the
Fabries of lows.
Mediums. Yeah. Oh man, who I gotta scroll back. I'm sorry, there's so many comments. It was Soap Dish that kind of hit me, and I got proved wrong on Fabry, but still I'm just gonna be a Fabry hater. All right, see you guys in a couple of days. Have a good one. Thanks for coming aboard. We'll see you.